Okay, so I'm gonna give kind of an introduction. So Alt Shift A gets rid of the autocomplete. That's good for looking up symbols. Let's see, Shift Escape gets rid of this window. The cursor, Control Alt Z zooms in on the cursor. Control Alt Shift Z zooms out. So you have Escape and Shift Escape. You have Control Alt Z, Control Alt Shift Z for zoom. You have Control Alt G for grid, and snap. Anyway, Control M is the menu, and here we have icons. Now F1 gets to help, and here we have the API documented. Somebody was wondering about, I wrote everything from scratch. It never executes code I didn't write. I did all my own tools. Change disk is if you have a removable media. Change directory. Check disk checks for file system problems. Copy single file. You can change from compressed to uncompressed by copying to a .z or a not .z. Copy tree. Dump a block. Dump a cluster. This will write clusters as well. Delete a file. Delete a tree. There's my diff. You can diff two files. It will merge parts one way into the other if you want. Directory, I don't do ls. This is dump memory. This variation is a live widget. Just to show you what that is. Dump. Let's say 0x112. This is down in the low 640K. This is still present from when it booted. Anyway, so it's a live widget. If you just say dump, then you get a. If you just dump, then you get a static. Otherwise, it's live. Doc D is live. And if you do M, you get the memory address instead of the. Anyway. So, this changes the current drive. This prints a pie chart of the. No, not a pie chart. This shows fragmentation of the allocation bitmap. This shows a pie chart of the partitions. This is the editor, ED. This is a wrapper that I use for find. This is grep that I use. This is grep in a directory. This is find file. This, I forget what the Linux analogy is. If you say find file star.txt star, those are all the .txt files. File manager. Control D is the file manager. File occurrence. This is grep basically. Format a drive. Grep. This reports the hash table collisions. Normally there's only about let's go ahead and do it. Hash depth rep. The only table of interest is Adams symbol table. Oops. So I have 22 3-length chains. It's an array of linked lists of symbols. So there's 22 3-length, 200 2-length, and 4,000. So in other words, it looks pretty healthy to me. Line count report. Link check. That checks for broken. I have my own links. They're not internet HTML links. They're my own format of link. Man page. This is good for short symbols lookups. In other words, Alt A gets my autocorrect. Now let's look up del tree. Okay, so if we have a symbol, you see up here it's got it's red. Control Shift F1, Shift Escape. Okay, so there's a unassemble, which is U, but we can't. Oh, we can Control Shift F4. Okay, UN. Anyway, long story short, if you have a short symbol like ED, anyway, that's just an alternative. Map drive will let you alias a drive letter. Memrep, well, that's a memory report. Merge, that compares, I think it just does dates, file dates, and then it hands it off to diff. I don't remember if, yeah, no, it checks binary, it checks binary sprites. Make directory, mount a drive. It's not quite like Unix. Similar. Move. This moves files. This is how you rename. You rename with move. New files. Oh, this is silly. Let's say you want to see what's changed since a certain date. Plain text instead of, this is an editor that's plain text. Partition disk, you can set up partitions. Partition report, you can report the partitions. Find and replace, grep. Spaces to tabs. These are string utilities like upper to lower, lower to upper. This is applied on files. Set drive text attribute. The border you can make so that if you change drives, as it changes the color of the border of the window. Size rep. This reports the file sizes. It's similar to line count report. You can convert a file to HTML. You can convert to plain text. Touch, that sets the date or attributes. Type is like cat in Unix. It will also send graphic files to the command line, so you can print a graphic file. Unused drive space, yeah, whatever. Unzip. This will unzip multiple files, change them from .z. I think you can zip as well. No, you can't zip. Well, okay. Who? That lists symbol table symbols. Zip. Okay. Well, that's no big deal. Zip report. This reports how compressed, so that you can see where you might reduce code. So that's kind of a tour. Alt Shift Control Shift.